everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight on TNN. It's been a while since we've been together, and I want to thank all of you who emailed me and wrote me and sent me text messages, condolences for my sister's passing. I lost my big sister completely unexpected due to lung disease, and that was a very trying time for me and my family, and I thank you for your prayers. I'm sitting here with a very good friend of mine, Adrienne Foster, and I'm just so excited that she's going to be on TNN tonight with me, as well as a new friend of mine, and she'll be with us in a little bit. But I just wanted to, tonight's episode, I really want to bring it all back to women supporting other women. And being an empowerer of women and a motivational speaker and a life coach, my main clients are females. And I think it's because a lot of females have realized that there aren't many other women supporting other women. And that's something that I've always done. That's something that I've always believed in. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. And I just thought I would bring Adrienne onto the show tonight because she's in town. She's from Kansas, but she's in town because she now works for the Small Business Administration, and that's the whole story we're going to share. But she's in Iowa, and I was invited to a wonderful event today, and that was very exciting. And so I just thought, this story of Adrienne and I meeting each other for the very first time is worth sharing with all of you. And I find it very inspiring, as do many people, right, Adrienne?
Absolutely.
And so I want to tell you how I first met Adrienne and where our journey and our friendship developed and where it is today. So as you all know, I worked for President Trump, and I was on his campaign, and very shortly after the Iowa caucus, the campaign asked me to go to different states to help them win and help recruit volunteers and to just get more voters. And so I arrived in Kansas, and I arrived to a situation that wasn't what's the word? Let's be nice. Wasn't not pleasurable. What's the word I'm looking for?
It was a little hostile.
It was like, I would say it wasn't not admirable, but like when things aren't great. What is that word? Like less than desirable. That's where I think I'm going. That's an understatement. But being the entrepreneur that I am and the apprentice that I am, I don't quit. I figure out very quickly who's got talents, who's got skills, and I utilize those people. Well, I meet Adrienne. Now, do you even know, how did we first meet? Because
we met at the GOP Kansas convention.
Oh gosh, that's right.
And
oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah, that's how we met. So
we met there. Okay.
At the hotel.
Okay, we met at the hotel because that was a disaster. But then when did I say, oh my God, I want to tap into you because you're phenomenal and you're the only person that can help me in that state?
Well, you were the surrogate, and so I got to meet you, talk with you, and then I got to take you to the different rooms where the surrogates were speaking.
Oh, you were sort of like my handler, right?
I was your handler.
She was my handler, and I'm like, wait, you're amazing. Like, I can get from point A to point B. You're smart, you're beautiful. Like, what can you do? I got to win this state. Okay, you're right. You were my handler. Okay.
Right. So I was your handler. I took you into the room where, they're like, okay, is there someone for Donald Trump who could speak, and so then you went up and you spoke about your story and how in your story and how you met Donald Trump and it was wonderful. And
right.
And then after that, when that was over, then we went back to the bar.
Fitting. No, just kidding. We were strategizing,
working hard, and then you went back to your room. I lived in Kansas City, so I went home, and then the next day something happened.
And I tapped into you. There was some bad, there was catastrophe after catastrophe,
mm-hmm.
and people who were actually getting paid weren't doing the job that I saw needed to be done. So I recruited Adrienne, mm-hmm. realizing she's very connected. At the time, you were working for the governor, correct? Mm-hmm. So she was very connected. She was very smart. She had great resources, and she was a hard worker. All the attributes that you need to be on a winning team. And I grabbed her and utilized her, fell in love with her, and she busted her hump for us. She came to the caucus. She recruited people. She got her family involved. And I realized that this was a bright lady, and I wanted to reward her for her hard work. I was always big on incentivizing people who worked hard for me and in return worked hard for the president. And so I remember learning that President Trump, at the time Donald Trump, was going to be coming to the hotel, and he would want to get, he likes to talk to people on the ground level to find out what's happening in the state. And I was like, Adrienne, could you get here? And she's like, oh, Tana, I'm ugly. I'm not dressed. I had my hair up and what? I said, you're not ugly. You're gorgeous. Get here. So she gets there, and the minute, it was like serendipitous. She walks in, President Trump at the time, Donald, I don't want to have to keep saying that. He walks in, and there it is. And like, she wanted to meet him her whole life. And there he is right in front of her. And I knew that he would turn to her and say, tell me about your state, and what do we need to do, and what do I need to do to win? And I knew that Adrienne wouldn't blow it. I knew that she wouldn't crack under pressure. I knew she'd be very decisive, just like I am, and she'd tell him straight in his face what the hell needed to happen, what the hell was happening, and what he needed to do to win, and if he was going to win. And he came in, it happened like that, and he goes, Adrienne. And she told him exactly what needed to happen, and he liked her, as I knew he would. And so from that moment on, it's not like she caught the bug, but Adrienne realized, or did you catch the bug?
I got the
okay, she caught the bug. And she realized, one, that I made a dream come true, but she realized she wanted to be more involved. And I'll let her tell you, I don't want to put words in her mouth, like before, how did you get to where you were desperately wanting the job that you wanted?
Well, during the campaign, I met great people like Tana, and she's really made quite an impact in my life. And I honestly don't think that today I would be an appointee in this position had it not been for Tana, because she was my biggest cheerleader for sure. And anyone knows that working in government or trying to get in an appointment in government, especially in President Trump's administration, is a challenge because, nobody wants to actually appoint or, get his individuals and his supporters in those positions.
Correct.
So Tana and I worked with a few people to try and get me into a position with the Small Business Administration. And Tana she kept the faith in me, and she went and talked to all kinds of people in D.C., and I'm not going to name any names, but she really dug into one gentleman that was a big decision maker to move my application forward. And I've always been of the opinion that I don't want a position unless because I'm a woman or because I'm Mexican. I want the position because I'm qualified, and so and I can do the job, and I've proven to do it. And Tana understood that as well, and so certainly I was qualified, capable, and knowledgeable of doing the job that I currently have with the Office of Advocacy and helping our small businesses across Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska. And so that there is a gentleman that Tana just constantly emailed and texted, and that was a decision maker, and I've not to this day met him yet.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I'm going to DC next week, and I'm hoping to drop by the office
there
to say, because when I was being first interviewed for the position, they said this gentleman's name, and they said, he is your biggest cheerleader. I don't know, what, did you work with him on the campaign? And I said, oh, there's actually a strong woman behind that man. So, anyway, but that's my story. And so, and I think that resonates on what we were trying to do today with meeting with women, small business owners here in the great state of Iowa today, with Senator Ernst, and Tana was part of that today. And it's women helping other women, not pulling the ladder up, and just supporting each other in every capacity, and just Tana taking my call. She's a very busy person, and running her business as well. And so I got to come up and meet her husband and her after the election, and so I always thought they were newlyweds.
Yeah, everybody does.
So they are the most in love couple I've ever met in my entire life.
So thank you.
Yeah, and so anyway, I just appreciate our friendship because. We really, again, we just met in that hotel, at the hotel in Kansas City at the caucus, and we were able to, communicate with each other, and I was able to communicate with her to say, listen, the boots on the ground here isn't working out. There's all kinds of things that need to be done in order for us to help Donald Trump at that time become the president, our 45th president, and it was just an honor and privilege to be able to be in that position. I'm a strong believer that God puts people and situations when you least expect it, and
so true.
We have just great faith, and it's just been a great blessing.
Well, and the deal that I wanted to share is, so she was, as she mentioned, she was qualified, she was talented, she was skilled, and I knew it, and she did so much, and so she was deserving of a job. And there was a lot of people that were getting jobs that didn't deserve the jobs. And I was always of the mindset that I want to reward people and make their dreams come true. I've always been that way. And Adrienne's dream was she wanted to be the regional director. She wanted to work for the SBA. She was adamant about it. She deserved it. And I was not going to quit until I made that happen. And it wasn't one call. It wasn't one email. It wasn't two calls. It was maybe, honestly, if I'm counting, and as God is my witness, I'd say 35. I never quit because I didn't want to let her down, because she worked hard for me, and it was my job to win the state. I wasn't the state director, but it was my job, and we needed to win, and she worked hard for me, and I was going to work hard for her. And so the point in sharing my story with Adrienne, or our story, is how many of us quit on one another? Mm-hmm. How many people promised you that they'd get you that job?
Too many.
Nobody had any intention of getting Adrienne the job. I did, and I didn't quit because I gave her my word that I'd do everything in my power. Now, she didn't know if I actually did everything in my power, and I'm always a big believer that, it's accountability. I knew that I had to say, I unturned every stone. I did everything in my power, Adrienne. It's out of my hands. It's not for you. But I kept saying, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done. Hold the faith. Stay true. Keep working. We're going to do this, sister. And we did it. And it's a true story of don't give up on people. Don't give up on people. And just to see her here today, she's so happy. She's smiling. She's got the dream, the job that she wanted, and she deserved. So I just share that story with you all because I just want you to know, don't give up on each other, and always honor your word. So that's our story, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and I was just glad to be a small little instrument in what God wanted to do in Adrienne's life. Right?
Thank you so much, Tana. I really appreciate you.
You're the best. So do you want to introduce Nina, and then we'll have Nina come and take the seat?
Yes. So today, as we were in Iowa, we were doing a roundtable with women business owners, and so I'm going to introduce Nina Roque, and she's going to take my spot.
Yay! We're going to talk about life in D.C. This is Nina.
Hey, Tana.
Hey! I know, isn't that funny? So anyways, Nina and I just met, and I'm very excited that she's in Iowa, and I thought I wanted to chat with her about first time in Iowa and what your thoughts were. So what'd you think of Iowa?
So I love it so far. It's so beautiful. Being in Pella is gorgeous, this little Dutch town.
You know?
We've already gone to the Peanut Pub twice, and I've only been here for less than 24 hours.
Oh, you'll have to tell me what's good over there.
Well,
Iowa's so nice.
Blueberry muffin brew last night. So
Ooh,
great.
Yummy. Yeah. So she lives in D.C., and I was sharing with her when we had a little lull time today that I had an opportunity to take a job in D.C., as many of you know, and I turned that down because I love Iowa. This is where my business is. This is where my family is. This is where my children go to school. And we were talking a lot about the challenges that women face as being business owners, or women face being in a predominantly male-oriented field or city. So I thought, let's get Nina's perspective of what it's like to live in DC and what her thoughts are on it, and how she likes it.
So I love it. I grew up actually in Miami.
Hey guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm breaking in here for a second.
Is her seating not right?
Yeah, she's leaning off to the one side, so you can't even see her in the picture.
I think it's because we weren't.
You got to go whatever way you're going, go the other way.
Grab the front right-hand corner of your notebook and pull it towards you.
Yeah, either move.
It's opposite.
You guys got to get cozy.
Yeah,
I think it's these chairs.
Maybe.
So.
Okay, try that.
There you go. That's perfect.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just pick it up, cut that all out, because I noticed her body language and I was trying to adjust it, and I didn't want it to look like she doesn't like me.
And remember, you've got to stay close to her for the mic.
Yes.
Okay, we'll stay close to you.
Yes,
I know, you
ma'am.
really do. You really do. Isn't it amazing what cameras, like that's what the Apprentice people were like, we need to see people on camera to see what they look like. You look great.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we're going to pick it up with, after Adrienne's interview, now just Nina. Okay,
Perfect.
wonderful.
Okay, I'm going to get muted now.
Okay, bye, Paul. So I'm so excited to hear what Nina thinks of Iowa. It's her first time in Iowa. She lives in DC. So what'd you think of Iowa?
So far I love it. I'm here in Pella, Iowa, which is a beautiful small little Dutch town. First time I was in Kansas City, where I met Adrienne. That was my first time in the Great Plains. So I love it here. I already been to the Peanut Pub twice and had some local brews, which was really nice.
And you're from Miami, right?
I'm from Miami. I grew up in Miami, very different. I've been in Washington, D.C. now for 3 years.
Wow.
And I absolutely love it. I love everything about the swamp, believe it or not.
That's great. You know, I don't know if you knew this, but I had an opportunity to take a job in DC. I turned it down. I love Iowa, and my family's here. My daughter still goes to school here. My son has a home here. I didn't enjoy the swamp because I felt like it was predominantly a male-oriented city, and it felt like the men in the city wanted to eat you up, you know? And so how do you navigate the waters in a predominantly male city?
It can be difficult, but I think having a network of people that align with you, whether it's your conservative beliefs, whether it's, being a Hispanic in the town, being a woman, I think that's so important. I had the opportunity to come up and work for a small nonprofit first before I joined the administration. And just having that core network, I think really helped me navigate kind of the swampy waters. And
that's really smart. See, I didn't have anything like that. I worked on the presidential inaugural committee. I had small group of Trump loyalists like myself, and then a lot of never Trumpers. And I'm in this place, and it was hard for me to see people taking jobs that I didn't see that they loved them, and so it just felt dirty. It felt like there was a bunch of lying. I didn't like that, and so I didn't have that network that I'm very happy to hear that you have.
Right, and I think there's definitely a lot of that, but if you find the people that you know are doing a good job, finding people like Adrienne, like myself, who are so happy with what we're doing. We're so excited about, being here in Iowa, connecting women business owners to each other, connecting their voices to policymakers in DC. I think that can kind of be like your shining light within the sun, and I think that's what it's all about.
That's true. You're making dreams come true. Yeah. As we just saw today. So was that your first time meeting Senator Joni Ernst?
It was.
Okay. What'd you think?
She's amazing.
Isn't she wonderful?
Recently we learned that she was one on the Trump's list for VP, which would have been amazing.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been great?
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of her in the future on the more national stage. I think
she's a wonderful, as I said in my brief speech tonight, that Joni exemplifies what Iowa is. She's a strong woman. She's nice. She's got good, humble beginnings. She's got that, the humble roots, and she's just a wonderful lady. And I'm just honored to be able to say she's a friend of mine, and we're very, very lucky to have her here.
She really cares. She cares about what everyone was saying tonight. She just really wanted to listen. We asked our host here in Pella, do you know Jody? And she was like, Well, we're fellow Iowans, so yes, we do.
Yeah, Iowa. The people in Iowa are so nice. They call it Iowa nice, and I'm a transplant. Been here 19 years, and so I had to learn that, because in most states they're not that welcoming and they're not that
Definitely
nice.
not in DC or Miami.
Right, exactly. So it was a wonderful event this evening, well received. There was a lot of women business owners that were here that really enjoyed hearing from advocates like Senator Ernst and these lovely ladies on the board that are taking our ideas for being small business owners to DC to hopefully make change, pro-growth policies and programs to help entrepreneurs. And I just thought it was wonderful, and I was glad to be a part of it. And
yeah, we're glad you were able to join us.
yeah, it was
sure.
so. I hope that we can do more in the future. Do we have plans for, what do we have planned for small business owners like, say, myself?
So we definitely want to be going to more rural areas. Historically, we've seen in prior administrations, they tend to go to the coast, right? They go to New York a lot. They go to LA a lot. We want to be in more rural areas. We want to come to Iowa. We want to go back to Kansas City. We want to go to New Hampshire and Maine. We want to go to these areas and really connect these voices to DC, and also just connect them to different people, connect them to each other, and making sure that we're listening in these specific areas.
I thought that was great. Like I said, if every one of us supported one another and supported our initiatives and shared our posts, it just gets bigger legs, and it's more eyes that are seeing all the things that we're doing. I know, as Adrienne mentioned, she follows my travel schedule, and she follows where I'm at and my speaking topics. And, just having an advocate or a friend see that and share a post, it just gets different eyes to see it. And so I just thought that would be a way that you guys could maybe initiate sort of an incentive that women like one another's pages and or businesses, and then it can get bigger and we can all grow and make more money and all become stronger together.
And it's all about having different voices at the table, making sure that it's not just the same people all the time at the same table, making sure that it's, people from Iowa, people from other rural areas, and that we continue to lift each other up is so important.
It's so important. And, some of us have different journeys. I mean, you're young. I'm guessing you don't have a family yet. But, Adrienne and I, we're working women. We're working mothers. We have different challenges. And, childcare is an issue. It's not for us anymore, right, Adrienne? Whoop, whoop. Kids are out of the house and college. Thank you, Jesus. But, when you're starting a family, if you decide to do that, that's a challenge. The work-life balance. How do you pay for childcare? How do you pay for maternity leave for employees? And all these things are wonderful issues that you guys are bringing to the table, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. I'm so excited that the TNN fans and followers get to meet you. And if you have any questions for Nina or Adrienne, please pipe them in. We're going to get to all of your questions and we'll answer them. We are going to go have a little bit of fun right after this broadcast. We're going to go to that place that she was talking about. And we just want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for being a part of my journey. I want to thank you all for sharing the video, for liking my YouTube channel, Hey Tana TV, and for just sharing the message, because just the other day I was making a post that Paul put up on heytana.com, which was, I like to encourage and reward people, as I mentioned earlier with the Adrienne story, that work hard. And Mike Rowe, he has the Mike Rowe Works Foundation, where he does the same exact thing. He gives scholarships to people that want to learn skills in the trade industry. And I happened to get a Donald Trump robe that he was able to auction off for almost $16,000.
Wow.
And all that money went to his nonprofit to provide scholarships for people that want to work but don't have the money to maybe get the extra electricianal degree, or to go to the plumbing school. I'm just throwing this up. I don't really know what the schools are called, but I know that the money goes to help these people. And I'm always 100% getting behind people that want to work hard. And like Mike Rowe, our president and his administration are definitely getting behind pro-growth policies and programs to help anybody out there who wants to work to be able to get themselves a job. So if you haven't checked out my website, go to heytana.com and take a look at the full video of the Mike Rose story and how Mike and I became friends and how we were able to sell that robe for almost $16,000. It's a great story, and once again, it was thinking outside the box and doing whatever it takes to win. So I want to thank you guys. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday, and thank you again for sticking with me through the death of my sister and through my traveling schedule for the past few weeks. Glad to have you back. There's Adrienne. Yay!
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, this was so great. Strong women support strong women. So if you ask yourself, why am I not supporting the neighbor down the street or the lady down the street or the single mom who's just started an Etsy business, maybe you need to look deep inside yourself and realize it could be jealousy, but we can all rise above it, and strong women do support other strong women. Right, girls?
Yes.
So you guys go out and be awesome, be wonderful, and can't wait to see your comments, and we'll get to them when we get back from having a beverage. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Take care.